Right. All right. Well, if I have switched on the correct microphone and I have all of my switches flipped and buttons clicked and knobs twisted on this thing, we should be just about ready to go. I show about 30 seconds. About 30 seconds. Unpin that comment. And I'll leave the Welcome to Past Life Regression Part 1 comment pinned for just a few moments there. Welcome to those who are joining. We haven't quite started yet. I will tell you this. If you're coming in and you're noticing the video is a little splotchy, it's because Facebook is doing what it does. I've been sitting here watching the streaming meter going anywhere from 100K all the way up to just over 2 megs. So if you're coming in and things seem to be a little splotchy, or there seems to be a bit of a lag, yeah, we can blame it on Facebook. But I am recording. I will be uploaded to our archive sites. If YouTube coughs and spits this video, which I hope they don't, because this is going to be a very interactive, enterprising topic, I believe. Okay. We are just over 1 minute past the hour, folks. Okay, welcome back to Live with the Shaman. Of course, sponsored by me and the House of Pagans site on Facebook. Well, we've had this topic coming, Past Life Regression Part 1. We may end up, depending on how much discussion we get, how much interaction we get, we may have to extend it a bit. Maybe part 1A and part 1B. So we're not going to try to shove all this thing just into a couple of broadcasts. Right. All right. So, looks like we have one person saying hello in the group. Um, two. Looks like we got Sabrina and Clint. Okay. Other people that straggle in, please say hello that we know you're there. And by all means, like I say, this is a very interactive topic. So please feel free to kick in, join in, ask your questions, statements, stories, whatever. Past Life Regression Part 1, what is it? Well, it is more or less what it says it is. It is a past life regression where through meditative hypnosis, not something I can call hypnosis because by law I am not a hypnotherapist, but I am a spiritual healer and I have done well over 20 years of meditation therapy and regressionary therapy. Now, if you want to know something interesting, I've been online for a minute and a half, and the video behind me just kicked in through Facebook. So I don't know what your lag is on your end. If it's really bad, I do apologize. I'm showing streaming right now of a little over 2.6 meg. So we're doing pretty good on this end for the moment. Anyway. What past life regression is the ability for an individual to step back in the memories of this lifetime and then further back before the womb of this lifetime into past life memories. Can everyone do it? I've had some that can, I've had some that can't. My processes for doing it might be a little different than some, and I'll explain those as the topic goes on into the other parts of PLR. You will hear me refer to past life regression as PLR, simply because I get tired of saying past life regression. So I'm all about acronyms. So in a PLR, your goal is to go it in stages, okay? There are stages to PLR that you want to take. And you get these people that say a PLR is something that you can just boom and you're in a past life. That's rare. That is very rare. It doesn't happen all of the time, and it generally typically doesn't happen just willy-nilly click of the fingers, bada boom, bada bing, so to speak. Now, if you have had instantaneous PLRs, more power to you, and also my condolences to you as well. PLRs can be a little bit overwhelming. They can be a little bit mind-numbing, and a spontaneous PLR can be a bit disheartening and be a little bit scare the hell out of you, so to speak. And a shout out to everybody who's joined us this evening in the live broadcast. Looks like we have Clint, Sean, Sabrina, and maybe a couple of others that I've seen pop in and pop out. Maybe they're lurking. So, in the excuse me, in a past life regression, what you want to do is, like I say, you want to go in those stages. What are those stages? Stage one is understanding what it is. Whoever is going to work with you on your PLR, they should be able to explain to you what your expectations are and what your stages are that you should be able to go through during a PLR. Stage one, understand what you're getting into. Stage two, listen to the person that's going to be taking you back on your PLR and ask questions. What are my expectations? Is this recorded? That's a real big question. Is this recorded? Some years back, I started recording my PLRs simply because I wanted to CYA, so to speak, so that people couldn't come back later and say, well, you did this, or you did that, or you said this, and you said that, while I was under. I wanted there to be a recording, possible video recording if available, and the client, if you will, gets that recording. It is not stored anywhere on any computer. So, that is more or less a CYA on my part. And it gives you the ability to go back when you're ready, watch what happened during your PLR. There are multiple different kinds, but that's typically one of the steps that I cover in a PLR. I try to either have a audio, preferred video audio recording device, but if not, I apologize. My throat's kind of scratchy tonight, so I am still a bit coughing. Another stage is being okay with being taken back into a hypnotic meditative state. You need to trust the individual that's working with you. It needs to be someone you haven't just met. I can tell you that before I will ever take anyone back in a regression, I spend several hours talking with them, getting to know them, getting to know a little bit about their past, some of the things they've been through. We do several readings. I make sure that you are comfortable to a degree with self. And when we get ready to do the PLR, we do the PLR as well in stages. We go levels. And that'll be talked about in part 2. So, excuse me. What are some of the other stages? Well, we don't actually have any more stages. Okay? We go through steps at this point. Location has to be a comfortable location for both the guide that's taking you back and you as well. Can you lay down and be comfortable? Is there a place where you feel safe and comfortable? Are you in an area where you don't feel stress or anxiety? Those are a big plus. Right. If anyone's saying anything in chat and I'm not seeing it, someone please send me a text or an IM and let me know that people are talking and I'm not seeing it, because I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you. I would love to have input and questions. So at this point, a PLR not done correctly can be dangerous. First PLR I ever did many years ago. Sean says he doesn't see any chat. We see what you're chatting, Sean. Maybe refresh your page and see if it'll come up. The first PLR I ever did, I didn't disassociate the client's memories from their body. Well, as we were going through the different stages and the different parts of the PLR, going down through meditation, we had to go down through this lifetime first to make our way down. Well, the individual had been an extreme fighter. So as we were going down through memories and the individual was having to fight off certain attackers, their physical body began to act out some of the things that they had done. Well, I ended up with a bloody nose, black eye, and dislocated jaw, bumps and bruises, because I ended up having to snatch the client out of meditation and talk for a bit and then try it again, thereby putting in the command to disassociate the memories from the physical body in the interaction thereof. It says his has been in dreams, but only in spurts. Yep. That's a part of the spontaneous PLRs that I was talking about, right? So as we as we take the client back, I start out with relaxing the client into a meditation, and I ask them to visualize what you did this morning when you got up, making sure that they have that visual. And then we go to last night. What did you do last night? If it's any of my business, tell me it's none of your business. I'm fine with that. Then we go back, what did you do yesterday afternoon? Let's go back to yesterday afternoon. So as we start out slower and we start going back, well, eventually we're into weeks, months. What did you do last year? What sticks out to you of your memories from last year? These are the things that we're interested in as regressionary techniques. What is the main thing that happened to you last year that you remember, first and foremost, had the greatest impact on you, right? Well, as we've done that, now we've started going back a year, 2 years at a time. In your forward mind, can you remember anything that happened to you in the last couple of years that sticks out to you that had an emotional, psychological, physical, spiritual, or sexual forward memory? We go through all of the different elements, the 3 human personalities and the 5 human elements. If you don't know what those are, search back through the videos and watch those videos. And again, my meter's in the red. Whoop, there it comes. You jump right back up. So typically those are what you're looking at as far as PLRs go. Sean, most of his PLRs, fully awake. Those can be a bit bemusing at times because very seldom are they ever planned. My memories of past lives generally will happen to me all relaxed, everything's calm, cool, and collected. I'm driving down the road because my forward mind is empty, leaving my spirit free to do what it needs to do, and boom, there's a memory. Shit, no, it's a little bit bemusing at times. But you learn over time to control them. Then you say, okay, let spirit do what it's going to do. Kick those memories up, and I'll look at them later when I'm not handling or controlling a 2,000 pound plus vehicle. I keep stopping in between and taking a drink because my voice does get scratchy. Right. Yeah, go on autopilot with whatever you're doing at the time. Absolutely. So, some of the cautions. What are some of the cautions that you need to pay close attention to during PLRs? If you're someone that cannot do a self-controlled or self-induced PLR, and there are more people out there that cannot do a self-induced PLR than there are that actually can. PLR requires very much being comfortable with yourself, total complete trust in yourself, and the ability to feel like you are in control of your surroundings at all times. To do a self induced PLR, you also need to be able to bring yourself into and out of a very deep hypnotic meditation regression. Everyone that I have worked with through the years on their PLRs, these were individuals, of course, that could not do self induced PLRs. Nothing wrong with that. If you can't do a self induced PLR, you're more the norm than you realize. Those of you that can do self induced PLRs, you're not of the typical individual. Sean says what's really cool when you have a pair, pyre, PLR of another person. Yes. Have fun with that. Yeah, have fun with that. I won't. Um, Other cautions. Now, folks, you really need to listen to this section real close for your PLR. If you are looking to have a past life regression done, do not let someone tell you they can do a past life regression over the internet. I say that again. Do not let someone try to convince you that you can do a past life regression over the internet. Because to have a guided past life regression, they need to be sitting with you in the same proximity as you so that you can see them and they can see you. I don't even want to ever try to do a PLR over the telephone or over Skype. There's too much that can go wrong. There's too much that can go wrong on a telephone PLR or a Skype PLR. And you just can't do an internet PLR. I'm sorry. I had this one idiot on one of these pages that I sent him a message because I was curious. And my question was honestly enough, how would you perform an internet PLR? Well, for a nominal fee of $50, I will send you the written instructions on how to do the only safe past life regression that you can do. Also, through email, I will talk you through your past life regression to allow you to be able to ask questions through email while you're in regression. Ding, 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 ding. Did anybody else ask WTF on that one? You can communicate with me through email during your past life regression. Okay, stupid. If I am in meditation My eyes are closed. I am deep ass asleep. I'm in a regression. I'm in meditation. I'm seeing what needs to be seen in my PLR. How in the Billy hell am I going to read your effing emails and send you an email back? I never heard from that person again. Yeah, there are people that will take people's money. And I've heard it all. All right, here it comes. I've heard these people tell you they can take you through a guided meditation to teach you how to do OBE, out of body experience, over the internet. They can take you on a guided astral travel over the internet. They can take you through a past life regression over the internet. Somebody smoking crack. And the hell of it is, hundreds of people fall for it. They will. Hundreds of people will fall for it. So those are some of the cautions to watch for. PLRs should be done only face to face. If you're going to have a practitioner take you back through a PLR, you need to build a trust with them. You need to have someone that you've built a trust with. And I've even had some clients that want to have someone there during their PLR. Okay, fine. As long as the individual can stay completely, totally quiet, ask no questions, say nothing. If they smoke, do it quietly. If they drink, do it quietly. And the only thing that the watcher is there for is to make you feel better about yourself. Other than that, the only thing I really want in the room with me and the client is a video camera zoomed in on the client. That way they can get the recording later. So, we are about 30 minutes past the hour. Sean. Sean is making a joke. Says PLR naked. I've done 3 of them. I've done 3 sky-clad PLRs. I never laid a hand on the client. The client was more comfortable naked, so that's what we did. What else? Let's see. I covered what PLR is, what PLR does, and some of the cautions of PLR. Now, to finish out segment of PLR Part 1, what will a past life regression do for you? Well, there are multiple layers of PLRs, right? When you do the first segment of the PLR, that is of this lifetime, and you started stepping back, you can find out a number of things that have caused you subconscious issues in this lifetime from things that you thought you might have forgotten earlier in this lifetime. So a PLR can kind of take you back so that you're watching it from a third party. You're watching it kind of like you're watching a TV. You have the sounds and the clips, but you're not reliving the emotions. So this is one of the things a PLR can do to you, or do for you. Another one, if you have ailments such as what claustrophobia, a innate fear of dogs or animals, and you have absolutely no memory of which to correspond those fears with in this lifetime, sometimes in a PLR we can address those fears and find out which lifetime those fears are associated with that has carried over to this lifetime. So these are some of the things that a PLR can do for you. Another thing, I've done I've done a PLR on one gentleman some years ago that had a debilitating fear of rape. I'm serious. The gentleman had a debilitating fear of rape. He had nightmares of being a woman and being raped. He could describe the female in his dream to the T, to the letter. How old she was, what she looked like, what scars she had. I covered the possibility of him being the rapist. I mean, come on, I gotta ask, right? I mean, he knows every scar, everything about this woman that's being raped. So we talked for weeks prior to the PLR. And we went through this lifetime. I mean, all the way back. Dug deep to see if maybe he was molested as a child, to see if maybe he had been raped and his mind just flipped it and turned it into a female being raped by a male rather than the other way around or whatever. That was not the case. We made it back to his prior life, right? Um, I'm not going to give the gentleman's age or who they were, but I can tell you that their prior lifetime was in the mid to late 1800s, and in a prior lifetime, he was a female. He was a female. And in that prior lifetime, he had been raped multiple times. And in his dream, he had seen himself being raped by these individuals. So we worked on that. We talked about that for a while he was in this time span, right? Visualizing and watching these movies. And I explained to him, now remember, you don't feel the emotion. You're simply watching the television screen. And we did some other techniques and things that kind of helped him get past it. once once he went through that prior lifetime, right? He came out. I gave him the video, and I told him, I said, "Do you have any memory of what we covered? Do you have any memory, your forward memory, even though I instructed you to because I wanted you to? Do you actually have any forward memory of the things that we talked about during your PLR?" He's like, "No, I don't. I know I feel better. I don't know why I feel better, but I suddenly feel better about myself. I feel more empowered. I feel more confident. Um, I feel more like I can handle the world around me. Thank you very much." I'm like, "Hey, it's all worth it, but I want you to take this recording and I want you to watch it later today, tomorrow, next week, whatever. And when you watch it, communicate back with me what your thoughts. Well, he called me late that evening. He had obviously been crying. He'd obviously been in tears and very emotional. And he said that was it. He said that was it. That's the only thing I can think of it could be. So, with the empowerment of that knowledge, that night, and for subsequent nights afterwards, he contacted me again about 6 weeks later and he said, I want to tell you, I have never slept like I have slept in the last 6 weeks. I don't dream about being raped anymore. I don't have flashbacks daily. Um, People can't walk in on me anymore and say, hey, how are you today? Just scare the shit out of me and I jump out of my chair. He said, I'm not as spooky as I used to be. So PLRs can be very helpful. Like I say, honestly enough, they can be very dangerous if they're not done correctly. But that is a couple of the things, a couple of the ways that a PLR can help you. And like I say, through your PLR, we go through all 5 human elements. We go through all 3 human personalities. Yes. And it takes a while. The shortest PLR I've ever had was 4 hours. Shortest PLR I've ever had was 4 hours. The longest I've ever had was 12. 12 hours. 12 hours non-stop. Went through 3 tapes, but 12 hours. Sean says, ancient PLRs help with your craft. You're absolutely right. And that's kind of where I was going on this next segment is how far back you can go. Well, in the astral, we know that we can communicate with and talk with the ancestors. Through PLRs, if you can make it back far enough, and if your spirit, depending on the age of your spirit, seriously, depending on the age of your spirit, depending on how far back you can go, depends on what happened to you, the things you lived through, the things you experienced, how you died, how you handled that death, what happened in your next rebirth, so to speak. PLRs can be very helpful. They can also be very dangerous. I don't recommend that you fear a PLR. I definitely recommend that you embrace it, think about it, and give it a go. Yes. Actually, going back to your beginning, yes. You have, I know, I have, a few other people have. It's very interesting to go all the way back to the flicker of light when your spirit is first born. It's really kind of cool. All right. So with that, this is going to be the series of past life regressions. We are going to be talking about the different variables of past life regressions, how they work, what they do, how to do it, how to achieve it, what to watch for, what can happen, the different aspects of past lives, and the things that they can help you with. Go over to Live with a Shaman, look at the upcoming events, and you'll be able to see which parts, part 2, part 3, whatever, and what I'm going to be covering within that particular segment of the series of past life regressions. Right. With that, I'm going to bugger on off of here. I apologize for the dirt on my hands. I did get to wash my hands, but I was playing mechanic today. So, yeah. And go ahead and continue to chat in the background. And I look forward to your comments, your thoughts, and be sure and check out Live with a Shaman. If you want to learn more about the Grove of the Celtic Shaman, be sure and ask the guys to post the link. I'm sure they'll be more than glad to. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time right here on Live with the Shaman. Have a great week.